Happy Devils Wednesday. This is the State of the Fan Address, episode 41, titled Sacrificial Lamb. There's a reason why we have that title tonight. I am your host, Sam Wu, here with Pucks and Pitchforks blog editor-in-chief extraordinaire, the master of disaster, the king of sting, the one and only Nick Villano. Nick, I'm trying to stay positive after last night's blown lead debacle and just a dagger in the heart out of all people in shootout that scores that I'm not going to even name names. You know how, when you really just don't want to name the names to give that person credit, but we know who it is. We've got a lot of questions to ask Ryan Lambert, National Hockey Analyst. He will be on shortly around 9:15, 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. Nick, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, so I will divert the attention to you and what's going on here. I mean, 3-0. It's like opening night all over again.
It's worse than opening night, Sam. We lost to Ilya Kovalchuk. We lost to the public enemy number one. Now, I don't care what you guys say about he saved us a bunch of money. He actually saved us. Listen, if you're married to somebody and your wife's spending too much money and she's like, I want a divorce, you're not like, cool, you're not spending my money anymore. You're like, that sucks. And that's exactly what happened. Ilya Kovalchuk divorced us, left us high and dry. We thought we were in a happy marriage. We thought he was getting everything he wanted. And then out of nowhere, he's like, deuces. And then a couple of years later, he's like, actually, I'm thinking of coming back. You want to trade me? And we're like, sure, we'll get an asset for you. And he's like, nah, just kidding. I want $60 million or something ridiculous. I hate him. And I hate this. I hate losing to him.
Yeah, at what point do we just move on? But I don't think we can, because
I'm not moving on. I'm going to stay angry.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in 2012, this is what has happened to the New Jersey Devils. And do you know who I blame? Ever since Justin Bieber in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2012 took that picture with the Stanley Cup and his body was over the Devils logo, the carpet, stepping on the logo. Since then, we've been cursed. That's where I trace it. I mean, we were in the playoffs. You just beaten the Flyers, spanked the Flyers, beating the Rangers in that fashion, going high with a big high to L.A., and then that stupid picture with a cup with Justin Bieber. And since then, we've sucked. I mean, just absolutely the Devils have sucked. Yeah, we had that one season that Taylor Hall. It took an MVP Hart season just to get into the playoffs barely with the 8th seed. And I don't want to take anything away from the team. That was a fun team to watch. And only to get one playoff win? This is not the New Jersey Devils, I know, especially after 2000 reunion night, which I had a great time. And, I'm seeing those rings right now going for $100, $150 on Facebook
Ridiculous.
Marketplace, but I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, ridiculous. If I could get my hands on a dozen of these, we'll give them out for free, because that's what we do here on the State of the Fan Address and on the Let's Go Devils podcast network, all powered by Nova Product Design from Primetime Radio. So, it's just like, yeah, I hate Kovalchuk, but I'm kind of meditating about it and just like, let it go, Sam, let it go. But honestly, I just want to go over to his vacant house in Alpine, New Jersey, and go on mischief night and throw some eggs at it. Because I'm kind of like you. I'm still pissed off. Maybe I'll devalue his house by like $100.
Yeah, he cost I spent money on his jersey, so he cost me money. I feel like it's only fair that we cost him a couple bucks. Although we did just admit it on a social media live platform So maybe we got to pay a couple kids to do it. Maybe we got to, get people off of our scent, Sam. I think that's the next.
You know what? To tell
step.
you the truth, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind taking one for the team, and just be like, yeah, I'll get that misdemeanor, and then it'll be in the news. Yeah, 40-plus-year-old man arrested for throwing eggs at famous Russian oligarch, ice hockey player's house, sitting vacant in beautiful Alpine, New Jersey. That's worth more than all of us combined.
Now, Sam, that's a long headline. I don't think that any of us would write that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Also don't think anybody's clicking on that article.
Yeah, it'll just write "stupid Devils fan arrested." That's what we'll say. But anyway, we're just joking around. Just jokes. I don't throw eggs anymore. Anyway, but yeah, so very disheartening. I almost wanted to do a Woo report after the game, but you know what? It's like it's the same old crap, right? And we'll talk to Ryan Lambert about the serious stuff, but I think afterwards, before we play our game with Dave Brown, Pucks and Pitchforks contributor, I also for those season ticket holders, I have some comments and some questions about Jake Reynolds, the president of the New Jersey Devils, his email that was sent out to season ticket holders, because I'm reading it, and Nick, I consider myself a smart guy. Well, I wouldn't say that smart, but smart enough, right? I actually think you're a lot smarter than I am. I may need some help translating this manifesto essay that was sent out to season ticket holders, because I'm going to have you give me the Cliff Notes version of it, because honestly, I need somebody to dumb it down so I can understand what the heck he's talking about. Anyway, but moving on, Facebook Live, people are filing at Facebook Live right now. Thank you for watching. Rock Lobosis, Nancy, Mike Rossi's in, David Decker. David Decker's a big hit around the Prudential Center the other day. Also, Nick is actually watching while he's podcasting with me. But anyway, let's get to the serious stuff. All right, so Kovalchuk, that whole fiasco. I mean, they go to Philadelphia, I believe, tomorrow, right? And here we go again. They're not going with the top two players, I'm assuming. I believe it's Heischer and who's the other guy that's not coming down? Sorry, it's just
Sammy Vatanen's yeah.
So, over the summer when they signed Kevin Hayes and we're all making fun of the Flyers, I think we're the ones being the idiots right now, with that deal. I mean, the Flyers are looking decent. I mean, at least they're in playoff contention. What are the Devils doing? I mean, heck, are we going for another first overall pick again?
Let's go, Lafreniere. I'm going to work on my French so we can get him on the podcast.
Yeah, and we got Tommy Fitzgerald at the helm right now. And it all goes back to the question about Joshua Harris, right? What direction are we taking? I don't know what the plan is anymore. I'm confused. Just like how I'm confused with the president's email that was sent out. I'm just confused. So that's why we have an expert, Ryan Lambert, coming on, because so far this season has been, quote unquote, as the show title, Sacrificial Lamb. Seems like we're sacrificing right now to get some more in our future. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think that we're in. It's rough, Sam. I don't know what direction you're going. I usually try to have all the answers, or at least I talk like I do, and I talk with confidence, so it comes out like I know what I'm talking about. But this time, I'm just at a loss. I mean, yesterday's loss was just kind of it broke me a little bit. And I've been broken a couple times, but I just keep hitting that rock bottom and digging a little bit. So. Words are hard, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sense of it all, and I guess my problem right now. We've been through this before so many times in the last 5-6 years, and I just think that I'm literally and figuratively confused where this is all going. If Ray Shero was still at the helm, I kind of have like, all right, we're this far in the process. You might as well, keep on going because the riches are going to be in the end. I see the pot at the end of the rainbow. I want some of that gold. I want some of that gold. Or really silver, the Stanley Cup. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And I think I don't know. Just after last night, it's like, what is it going to take to get this team going? Maybe it's a new coach in the horizon. Maybe Nasruddin hasn't figured it out how to fix this team.
I will say this, Sam. I am excited to play the game tonight because tonight we're playing Win Sam Wu's money. In the same breath as Win Ben Stein's money, we're playing Win Sam Wu's money.
What?
So we'll have fun explaining that one. But I just wanted to get that one in to get people excited for the rest of the podcast while you go get our guest.
Okay.
So I'll talk to the Facebook Live. I'll start with Ryan Hutner. Ryan Hutner, I hope I said your name right. Would you rather have Byfield or Lafreniere? So Quentin Byfield is a guy that a lot of people really, really, really like. Like some people are way high on this guy and think he's actually better than Lafreniere. I can see why. He's got the size, he's got the grit, and he could just do some things in the ice that somebody that size can't normally do. It's just something out of the ordinary. But Lafreniere, I think, is a next level prospect. I think they're both very, very good, and they're both going to be very, very good. But for the Devils, what I need right now is I need somebody who's going to play next to Jack Hughes for 100 years. And I think Lafreniere and Jack Hughes are the perfect complement to each other. I think that they're both skilled and shifty, and I think that they complement each other well. So I think that they're the ones who I think Lafreniere is the guy that we need to go after in the draft if we get the number 1 overall pick. I think that it's going to take a minute, but looks like Sam's having a little bit of trouble there because I see him on my screen. Anyway, so this team can score with the best of them.
Sorry for that mess up, Nick. I just wanted to just tell the audience we have technical difficulties because the laptop has had a mind of its own, and it almost seems like somebody was actually taking over. But it's all good now, so keep on going. Sorry.
Okay, we're in good shape now. But Kevin Justura, he says the team could score the best of them. What is it going to take to keep the puck out of the net more consistently? Well, for one, I mean, I think Louis Domingue isn't the right guy for this team, but he's the man we have right now. I think Mackenzie Blackwood's fine, but he's just a guy who's going to be good sometimes and great seldomly and bad sometimes, and that's who he is right now. He's 23. That's what 23-year-old goalies do. Carter Hart is having a similar kind of season, so Carter Hart's bad isn't as bad as Blackwood's bad has been, but he has been slightly inconsistent. So I think, and we need somebody to the left. I want Nicholas Hjalmarsson in the offseason so bad because we just need somebody to lock down that left. I know he's a little injury prone, but I think he can be had for a very good price. Throw him next to Subban and just, they're both a little bit older. So I think you'd want a younger first line. So maybe you put Subban and Hjalmarsson. I know it's a very expensive second line, but maybe you can get Severson and Ty Smith to work, on that first line. I'm spitballing here. I'd have to really look at it closely. It also depends on what they do in the offseason. Is a Pietrangelo in the works? Is a Torrey Krug in the works? Is a Jake Muzzin in the works? There's a lot of options out there. Some of them I don't feel like fit very well with us, but I think that that's going to definitely help us get more consistent is to add talent on that blue line. And then we need a backup goalie. Robin Leonard is my number one that I want for that, because I think if Blackwood just doesn't get it together next year, he can take starter minutes. Mike Rossi says that the Devils better win against the filth. I hate the Flyers. Oh, my goodness. I lived in Philly for a couple of years, and I just dislike them. Oh, oof. David Decker also hates Ilya Kovalchuk. Everybody should hate Ilya Kovalchuk. I'm sorry. I got over Zach Parise because Zach Parise, he did it the right way. He did it the way that the collective bargaining agreement gave him the opportunity to do it. So I actually traded for Zach Parise in my NHL 20 franchise, brought him back home, let him. Yeah, I know he's from Minnesota, whatever. He's home as Jersey to me now. You know, I'm over Zach Parise, but with when it comes to Ilya Kovalchuk, I'm not going to get over that. He can fly a kite. Sam, he can fly a kite.
Is that what you got, Nick? Just fly a kite? Just go away, Kobe. Go away. Go away.
Let's go fly a kite.
Oh, boy. We can't be singing for our next guest. I've loved his work in previous years, and he knows a lot about the NHL. Pleased to welcome to the State of the Fan address, Ryan Lambert, National Hockey Analyst. Ryan, you're on with Sam and Nick. How are you tonight?
I'm all right, guys. How about you?
We're doing well. We're pretty bad, actually, Ryan. Ilya Kovalchuk told us to shush, and I kind of want to die a little bit.
I mean, look, that's not really your biggest problem this season. You know, like yeah, sure, you lost to the Canadiens, but there's been a lot of losses. I mean, who cares? It's one more. You got a point out of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, is that a good thing though? I mean, should we be talking about tanking already?
Well, I mean, you should have been talking about tanking in November, but I don't think the 1 point matters too much because, you know, Detroit's kind of got that number one chance to pick first overall. I think they got it locked up here.
I mean, but we gave away our best chance of winning the lottery in Taylor Hall anyway. He's going to win the lottery for Arizona, and we're going to lose that first round pick when they miss the playoffs. So, you know, well, I guess these things happen.
So.
Yeah. So, but kind of getting into just the Devils and you know, this season, and you've never really been on this team despite the hype, despite getting Subban, despite, you know, Taylor Hall on a contract year, and he's going to come back to MVP levels. And, you know, Corey Schneider, look how great he is. But you were always like, you know, on your podcast, Buck Soup, and, you know, in your publications, everything I've seen of you, you were kind of like, let's calm down on the hype. What did you see that, you know, you were eventually proven right? What did you see from the get that you were like, you weren't on board?
Yeah, I didn't like the goaltending. You know, I've seen so many goalies be, you know, whatever, 920, 925 for 3 months, and then, you know, they come back to earth. And if you wanted to say that about Mackenzie Blackwood, who I'm not sold on, or Corey Schneider, who, you know, unfortunately, it looks like he's just about done, you know. Either one of them, I wasn't really like that. I was, you know, it was a thing of that's the goalie that's going to make this a play. Okay, guys, you know, and then with you know, getting Wayne Simmons, like, who cares? Not really a factor. Like, it's a, you know, what are they paying him $5 million this year? Like, it seems like the kind of pickup that could kind of juice things. And, you know, all last year, well, you know, he still helps on the power play. Not really. Subban, like you said, you know, if you watched him down the stretch or for most of the year last season in Nashville, it was just like, this is the guy that won a Norris, and like, he just didn't have that extra, half stride that he used to, on every guy in the league, where he just can't skate anymore. He's 29, 30 years old. He's had some knee injuries and that sort of thing. There were things to like about the team. I thought it was a good bet to go get Subban for basically nothing but the money. I obviously liked Taylor Hall. He hasn't been good in Arizona or New Jersey this year. I like Nico Hischier a lot. I thought that contract was awesome. But, there just wasn't a lot of defensive depth there. There wasn't a lot of offensive depth. And when you can't trust either goalie on top of those two things, like, that doesn't look like a playoff team to me.
So, I want to talk about what they should do now then. I mean, they fired the coach. They fired the GM. I think I'm on the chopping block, even though I don't work for them. Everybody's on the chopping block. So when it comes to players, they got a couple guys on some really good contracts. Kyle Palmieri is only making just above $4 million a year. Sammy Vatanin's in a contract year, but there's a couple guys. Blake Coleman's making, I think, 1.6. These are all valuable assets that teams would covet, but it's also the kinds of players that are key in a turnaround. So what do you think the Devils do here? Do they go big on the assets and make those trades, or do they try to reset?
Trade everybody. Well, I mean, again, like I guess I can't profess to know everything about the New Jersey Devils, like, systemic goaltending depth, right? So I don't know, but I don't think Mackenzie Blackwood's like some kind of a goalie of the future for you. Corey Schneider obviously isn't. There are good young players. Nico Hischier's 21, 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Hughes is 18, 19. But yeah, Sammy Vatanen, how old is he? 29, 28, something like that. Yeah, okay, trade him. Who cares? Kyle Palmieri, good player. Sammy Vatanen, good player. But are they going to be good players by the time this team's ready to compete again? I kind of doubt it, just because of their ages and the kind of talent they'll have around. Like, you can't build a team around a Kyle Palmieri and a Sammy Vatanen. There are other pieces there. But yeah, I just, I should say, I guess, I'm a big, if you're not a top 10 team in the league and therefore have a pretty good chance of getting hot in the playoffs and going on a run, I'm a big fan of just go get as many picks and prospects as you possibly can. That's just my general philosophy. I get kind of killed on my podcast for saying basically oh, he's over 30, trade him. No, unless it's Sidney Crosby or something, you can't. I'd usually err on the side of getting the kind of excess perceived value for a guy like that on the market, and that's kind of where I'm at with the Devils. The good news is for them, I guess, is that they have a lot of cap flexibility coming up the next 2 summers, and they can make use of it. But they're 2-3 years away from maybe even being a playoff team, the way I see it right now. So the Sammy Vatanen and Kyle Palmieri, those guys are going to be on the wrong side of 30 2-3 years from now. So you can get veterans anywhere. You can just go out and sign them on July 1st every year.
So, us fans and us people who kind of spend most of our time writing and, ingesting New Jersey Devils hockey tend to overvalue everybody on our team, picks, prospects, players, everything like that.
Hear you guys.
Yeah.
That's every single team in the league. So
I've accidentally found myself on Toronto Maple Leafs Twitter, and it's a scary place. So, but what do you think is realistic? Are any guys in the Devils worth first-round picks? Are they worth top prospects? Are they somebody who's going to be that coveted? Especially with it seems like there's a lot of teams still kind of in it. And obviously that could change in the next couple of weeks. But, it seems like the Devils have the talent to trade. But I felt like with the Taylor Hall trade, a lot of teams were just very reluctant to give up that first round pick for anybody.
Yeah.
So I everybody talks about how deep this draft is, but are teams going to be willing to give up the major assets that the Devils are expecting to get for these players? Or do you think that we're all going to be kind of sad pandas on February 25th?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're seeing fewer transactions where it's weird, right? Because sometimes you see guys and you're like, that guy got a first round pick. Like, oh, okay, sure. And then other guys, it's like, that guy didn't get a first round pick. Like I was a little, I don't know if disappointed is the right word. I was surprised the return for Hall was not as good as I thought it was going to be. Let's put it that way. Like there are a couple players in there where it's like, I mean, I guess he could be something, but I do think that most valuable asset in there is going to end up being that first round pick. But again, that's 2-3 years from now. That's not for next season, and it's tricky. Yeah, like you said, this is a super deep draft. Teams that are on the playoff bubble, I think, will be reticent to trade their first round picks, just like, because if we miss the playoffs by 1 point, we still have a chance to pick first overall. And even if we don't, like, we can get a good player at 14, 15, 16, whatever, wherever they end up. And so, yeah, I think this is a year where it's going to be maybe a little disappointing, but also maybe teams are, in order to facilitate deals that they feel they need to make to, get over the hump, get to the second round, that kind of thing. I wonder if teams would be more willing to give up higher quality prospects than they might otherwise because the picks are going to be so seen as being so valuable. I think that's an interesting thing to watch in the next couple of weeks. And what I really think is going to happen is you're going to see a lot of second and future firsts move, and not necessarily this year's first round picks.
And I feel like that's a big mistake, because every time we've seen a team give up a future first round pick, it almost 100% bites them. But I mean, I would take future first. I would take 2021 first, 2022 first. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far in the future you can go, but sure. I mean, you see what happened to Colorado with that.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's really working out well for Ottawa too. I mean, they're gonna probably pick twice in the first 5 here this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get those first round picks when you have no idea what those teams are going to be and what injuries are going to impact them, and you have a full season of just stuff to throw them off, goalie issues like in San Jose, I believe that's what you were alluding to. That's the kind of stuff that makes a team. So, one thing kind of off the beaten path, I didn't bring this up, but, you can do this real quick. How much do you think it's going to impact that they don't really have a GM?
It's interesting, right? Because, so from what I understand, they're going to kind of do it the way Carolina does it, which is more by committee. And then, like, the GM is just the guy who picks up the phone and makes the call. But, you get into a conference room with 4, 5, 6, 7, however many people, and you talk about, okay, what do we like about this guy? And you arrive at a consensus as a group, and then you go try to make those deals. Like, these are going to be players we target. These are players that we think should be made available. And yeah, I think that's kind of the approach they're going to take. I don't know that, it's not like it's Tom Fitzgerald, right? Am I right? I'm right about this?
Yeah, it's Tom Fitzgerald, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Tom Fitzgerald, and everybody in the league knows who Tom Fitzgerald is. Like if he calls the Brad Treliving from the Calgary Flames, and he says, "Hey, it's Tom Fitzgerald," they're not going to be like, "Aren't you just the assistant GM?" I don't think that matters so much. And I guess the concern, like you said, is kind of, it's maybe not his vision for rebuilding the team, but like the team is now more collectivized in their approach to evaluating players both on and off their rosters. So I think, maybe it doesn't matter so much that it's a guy who's just the interim GM or something like that.
So, just changing directions kind of, abruptly here, but the fan base, they're not happy with Jack Hughes. And I try to tell them he's 18. It was never about this season. We knew he didn't have the NHL ready body, and that there was some things that there were some growing pains he was going to have to go through. But are you, I don't know how much you've seen specific Jack Hughes stuff, but is this something we need to be worried about, that he's having a rough rookie season, that he didn't do the Austin Matthews thing, or, even the Nico Hischier thing?
Right. Well, I think, look, it's tough, right? The whole team sucks. That's the problem. And so, and now Taylor Hall's not around to be like, well, why does Taylor Hall suck too? And so it all falls on Jack Hughes, who I should say is not having a good season. But, I'm not one to, I hate when people kind of do this a little bit, but the thing that I would keep in mind is, how many points Joe Thornton had in his rookie season in the NHL? It was like,
it wasn't a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And Steven Stamkos, he got benched famously for a couple of games in his rookie year. Even guys who go on to be megas, Joe Thornton, a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Steven Stamkos by the end of his career is going to be in that same area. Right. And I'm not saying Jack Hughes is Steven Stamkos or Joe Thornton, and they play very different styles and all that kind of stuff, right? But would I have personally put him in the NHL this year? Probably not. Let him go play in the O. Let him go play in college, something like that. That would have been my plan for it, and but I'm just kind of a guy where I think. In general, unless a guy is special, I wouldn't have him in the NHL as 18 years old. I just wouldn't do it. There are guys where you can kind of put them in the AHL as a rookie, but I think either being a guy who just absolutely crushes the OHL as an 18-year-old and is playing in every situation and being in a position to score 1 million points on a good team, that kind of thing. I think that helps a player more than, getting pushed around a little bit at the NHL level, I guess you would say. And I feel the same way about college where, again, I don't want to say Jack Hughes is Jack Eichel, but and I don't think he would have had quite the kind of same dominant one season in college that Jack Eichel did. But, if you put him on the first line of a University of Michigan or something, yeah, he has a great season. Maybe, he's not going to be a Hovey guy, but he's going to have a great season. He's a really talented player who I think just, the Devils maybe bought their own hype a little bit and thought he was NHL ready and, thought they could put him in a position where, okay, well, we'll have him on the third line and we'll put him on the second power play unit and he'll get his minutes, but he'll also, get to kind of learn and take a couple of nights off here and there. And then they're like, oh, the team sucks. We're terrible. We got to start using Jack Hughes more because we need someone who can maybe put the puck in the net a little bit, and he can't do it because he's 18 years old. He's not physically ready and maybe not mentally ready. And I don't mean it he's mentally soft or anything like that, but it's a big adjustment from being a good player on the U.S. National Development Team, the best player on the National Development Team, to being in the NHL. There are guys who are 20 years older than him in the league right now, 25 years older than him in the league. So, it's one of those things where, they're now burning a year of his rookie deal, and I don't know how smart that is given where they are organizationally, but it's too late. And, I guess what I would say, to Devils fans who are freaking out about it is, everything else about this year is a write-off to you, right? Like, why? So why are you like, but the Jack Hughes thing, I'm really worried about it. Call that a write-off too. It'll be fine.
It's fair. I mean, the only saving grace I'm getting into it is, we were looking 3 years ahead and thinking, oh, we're going to have to make $11-12 million available. But now maybe we can average this rough rookie season into that. And even if he does become a very good player, maybe, we can cut $4 million per year off of a 7 or 8 year contract.
I wouldn't go that far. He's going to get his money. But, it's certainly, a situation where, like, it's really hard to get star talent, top level guys in the NHL. And, you give them what they want. And what you got to do then is you don't overpay the bottom of your roster, which is, a hallmark of the, mid 2010s Devils. Is there was a lot of guys on that roster where you were like, he makes how much? You know what I mean? And so if you can not do that, if you have a good enough front office that is recognizing the value of star talent and not and recognizing the non-value of lower level players, well, that not you can afford to pay Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid as long as you don't have too many bad contracts elsewhere on the roster. So maybe that's not a good example because the Oilers aren't particularly good either, but you see what I'm saying.
I was going to say, he says as the Edmonton Oilers just gave a massive extension to Zach Kassian. So,
yeah, no, I mean, look, it's Ken Holland, right? He's gonna do that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, look at the mess he left with the Red Wings from doing exactly that. So overpaying middle of the roster talent and bottom of the roster talent is how you get into trouble in the first place. That's why the Devils are where they are now. So,
well, Ryan, I mean, that's you made me feel sadder somehow, but I do really appreciate you coming on and kind of giving us the business.
Yeah. Hey, my pleasure. So, I mean, like, sorry, but.
Hey, listen, I mean, somebody's got to tell us, right?
I don't need to. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I still got people in my mentions about the Blues, and I was like, it's the middle of February, guys. It's over.
Yeah, the Blues also had, like Vladimir Tarasenko and Colton Parayko, Alex Pietrangelo, Ryan O'Reilly, like, a bunch of good players. And the Devils don't.
Sam, I'm sad now.
Different. Well, look, like I said, 2-3 years from now, you're going to have a lot of good picks. You're going to have a lot of good young players on the roster, and this is probably going to be a pretty good team. So you just got to, you got to embrace the tank a little bit, and you'll come out the other side, and it'll be fine.
All right. Well, Ryan, once again, I just want to thank you for coming on. Do you got anything to plug?
Yeah, the Puck Soup podcast and newsletter. Newsletter comes out 2-3 times a week. Podcast we do once a week, plus a mailbag on Patreon, and 2 bonus episodes a month also on Patreon. So just on patreon.com/pucksoup. And, the regular podcast is anywhere you get your normal podcasts.
Yeah, I do want to point out that you guys stole Rachel Doherty from us the same day we had Rachel Doherty. So, I mean, you guys could have waited. You're the more famous podcast. You could have given us some time, but that's okay. That's okay. That was probably on Greg.
I have to say, I've booked 1 guest ever. And the rest are other people who are not me. So,
fair enough. Well, Ryan, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
That is Ryan Lambert, Puck Soup Podcast, here on the State of the Fan Address. It's why we named the podcast, episode 41, Sacrificial Lamb. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the truth. And he's right. We suck. We suck.
We're bad, Sam.
We're
so
bad.
It's so bad. And like, honestly, Sam,
pun.
like I, you know, my readers are probably wondering, like, I haven't written in a couple of days just because I stare at the computer and I'm just looking at it sideways and I'm like, what happened? I was like, I don't know how to make it better anymore. I don't know where the optimism is. I don't know where, you know, and Ryan said that, you know, if we keep building up these draft picks and they keep playing better, I think that we'll eventually be in pretty good shape. But I can't put the time on it. It's 2 to 3 years before we're playoff contenders. It's 5 to 6 years before we're a top team.
It's funny you say that, Nick, because before we play the game, I got to go over this. Season ticket holders are filing in on a lot of our social media accounts right now. I want to talk about Jake Reynolds, the Devils president, and the emails that were sent out yesterday to season ticket holders. I am a season ticket holder going on year 20 next season. And it's always good to hear from management. And, you know, I think the Devils at one point did a state of the team address a few years ago. And it was kind of like almost like a presser for season ticket holders. I like that kind of engagement. And then I found out that Jake Reynolds, before, I guess, last game or something like that, hung out with some season ticket holders, courtesy of him. And, some of the people that said that, hey, he's a pretty nice guy, but we're kind of tired of the PR spin. But I got to go this email. So I get one 11 a.m. on the dot yesterday, a letter from Devils president Jake Reynolds. Now, I don't know Jake. He seems like a nice guy. He's a young guy. He's like, I've seen him when I did my research, I seen him in like, you know, executives of 40 under 40, you know, that kind of thing. Very bright guy. Went to, I think, Utah State University, played basketball there. So athletic, like that. Did very well. He actually, you know, worked for the Giants a couple years, and then the 76ers, and worked his way up. Very impressive. So I get this email, or we got this email, and it's like, I don't want to be hypercritical, but it's very well written. But like, look how long this email is. I'm just scrolling, right? And I gotta say, I read contracts during the day. I read all this stuff. But when hockey, I mean, it was very well written, but it's like a huge essay, and I just need bullet points. Where is this all going? Because it's like, you know, with the setbacks, the championship teams, Jack Hughes. I mean, if I read it, it'll probably take me about 5-10 minutes to get through it. It's bullet points. But the one thing that the loyalty lock initiative, where I guess right now I think the way I interpret it is, hey, if you lock in now for the next 2 years as a loyal fan, we won't raise the prices on you for the next 2 years. You know, the next year and the season after. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just so confused, Nick.
Time out. I gotta say, Sam, how in God's name are they gonna act like they're gonna raise the prices next year?
Yeah,
they're going to, and this is the business side of things. There is no amount of hype short of trading for an Austin Matthews or a Mitch Barner or something insane that I can't even think of. And if I wrote about it, I get yelled at by certain other podcasts for 5 years. I can't see them doing anything in this universe to get people as hyped as they were this offseason to renew their tickets at a premium price. I can't see it. What this seems like to me is that they are testing the waters and seeing the response that they get from even the notion that the tickets could go up. I think that that's what they're doing here. And I don't know. I've reached out to the Devils on a different thing this week. I didn't hear back. I don't hear back a lot. I'm not important enough to get replies from Devils when I have questions about articles I'm going to write. But this seems disingenuous, does it not?
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, be real with me. Because if you just walked up personally and said, look, we tried our best. It didn't go well. We effed up. Sorry. But we're trying to fix this thing. You know, come along. We won't raise the prices, but just renew next year. And let's see where it goes. But for 2 years at a price, a what? I mean, I don't even know what direction this team's even going at this point. You just fired the GM, or no, they parted ways mutually, right? You know, stop with the PRBS, okay? This before, and this is not a knock on Jake Reynolds. This is where it all started for me because everything just, triggered in my head. We're from Jersey. You're the New Jersey Devils. Just be candid and honest. All right?
That was the one thing.
We just don't want the PR spin because, heck, this is probably the reason why we started this podcast to begin with, just to give it to you straight. I mean, what Ryan Lambert said, we needed that. We needed to hear how bad this team. Because I don't want to know what PK Subban can do in the kitchen. I need him to be scoring goals and blocking shots.
I personally don't mind the extras like PK Subban in the kitchen and things like that. I don't think that actually distracts anybody from anything. That'd be like me telling you, like, you're not allowed to go on vacation because once you get back from work, you're going to be too distracted. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I think it's cool and it's fun and it's a little way to get into people's personalities. And I know that, you are a Lou Lamoriello age, Sam. You love the, just keep it simple and show your personality on the ice. And I get it. But it is 2019 or it's 2020. The social media reach of teams is much more important than it was. And, but my point is that, one of the things that you made a big thing about in the offseason was Ray Shero seemed like a guy who was real. And when the Pavel Zacha stuff happened, he came out and he was like, goodbye, peace. Like, whatever. If you think you do better somewhere else, goodbye. See you later. And we respected that.
With a lot of bombs in there, with a lot of F-bombs in there that wasn't, alleged. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. But
I mean, he got quoted just saying what he was saying. He wasn't trying to be the perfect gentleman. He wasn't trying to be, worried about what people thought of him and things like that. And then he was everywhere in the offseason. He did every single, he talked to, Ryan Lambert's partner, Greg Wyshynski. I can't remember if it was for NHL on Ice or the Puck Soup, but, he talked to Greg Wyshynski. He talked to, Hockey Central at noon. He talked to just about every, NHL Network. He was talking to everybody about everything. He was being very candid. He was being very open about the struggles, about the past and how we're going to get past it and what the goals are for this future and the goals are for the season. And then it went bad, Sam, and he disappeared. And that's when he lost the fans. We never heard about Ray Shero getting fired or the fan base turning on him. They were always about John Hines and turning on John Hines and things like that. But Ray Shero seemed like, because he made the move to bring Taylor Hall here. He made the move to bring Sammy Vatanen here. He made the move to re-sign, Damon Severson. And he made the move to select Nico Hischier over Nolan Patrick. And he made these moves that were working, and they did work, and then put us in the better direction. And our prospect pool is now middle of the pack instead of dead last. So he made correct moves, but when he was no longer transparent, like you said, this is New Jersey. You can't not be transparent in New Jersey. You can't. We're the third smallest state with the biggest attitude.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's our brand, right? And we want we just want to be upfront here. And the other thing too, to add insult to injury, but the last part of that whole loyalty lock initiative. Why don't you say, hey, lock it in for 2 years? Just get to the point. Like loyalty lock initiative. In the end, it says personal black and white membership portal, which you will receive tomorrow. Then I get another email. Your membership auto renewal window opens tomorrow. And that was sent yesterday at 4:03 p.m. Okay, what the heck is this? So I'm reading it. Okay, it's going to be there tomorrow. And then there's another email at 4:50 p.m. yesterday. Please disregard the previous email. That was an error. It's just like, that's the hat trick of emails. You sent 3 emails. Now I'm even more confused. Why can't you tell me what the price is of these freaking tickets? Just tell me. Because I'm stupid enough to renew. You got me hooked on this 10-year plan. I don't want to lose my place in line. Just be real with us. I don't need to know about how glorious the future is. Devils fans are smart enough to figure it out. Now it's just a matter of, do we want to see this rebuild go into overtime in the next couple years? And stop BSing us. I know you guys are trying to make things work and trying behind the scenes, but it's too corporate for me. And the reason why, in the focus group meeting right now, here's a tip, Devils marketing. The reason why I go to these Devils games is so I can act stupid, because it puts me in a different world where I'm happy and I get to watch hockey. So let's dumb it down a little bit, because I felt like I need to put my glasses on and read that email, and all I got out of it is, all right, you want more money? All right, well, you already suckered me in because I'm an idiot. I'll renew and watch this crap, because I'm probably going to do that, which, actually I already told my rep I would. And the reason why I did is because she treated me very well the other night. And, just like other fans, I know a lot of fans are thinking about it. At one point, where do we hold the Devils accountable and cut the funds off, meaning buying tickets? At what point? Now, there's always this debate. Well, you're not a real fan. You stick it thick and thin. Well, you can watch the Devils on the road and still send a message, Yeah. So, and again, I'm not advocating any of that. I'm just saying that fans are thinking, and I know a lot of fans, because I hear the complaints all the time. Sometimes I feel like I am the Devils customer service rep. I feel your pain. I'm going through the same thing too. But at the end of the day, do what makes you feel happy. We can't control what's on the ice. We can only control what's off the ice. And that's my take. Anyway, we should probably get Dave Brown on, shouldn't we?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. No, sorry, Nick. I just had to talk about the hat tricks of emails in a short span yesterday, and I'm just still confused. But, it's almost at the point. Since it's on auto renewal, just screw me anyway. I don't care. Anyway.
You good? Okay, he's good. All right. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, Ryan gave it to us pretty hard today, and I don't agree with one thing where it's, we should have not had the hype that we had this season, because I honest to goodness think we had the pieces there. The big problem was that Schneider wasn't what he was in the preseason even. And we had really bad luck with Blackwood to start. I mean, to throw him in the first game of the season cold, I mean, you saw his eyes were as big as different dinner plates when he found out that Schneider wasn't going. And he was like, oh, and then he got destroyed in that, he got destroyed in that in the game right after it. He just wasn't ready. He just threw him off. So I think that it was bad luck tied with Subban taking a while to fit, tied with Hall not playing well in a contract year, tied with Jack Hughes taking a long time to get acclimated to the NHL, tied with Jesper Boquist not getting chemistry with anybody, tied with John Hines coaching for his job and throwing the lines in a blender every single night, tied with, Damon Severson not having the season that he had last year, tied with Wayne Simmons not being able to score goals on the power play. I mean, the list goes on. It was an insane long list of bad things that had to happen for the season to go as bad. I mean, it takes a lot for a team as hyped as the Devils were to now be one of the worst teams in the league. It takes a lot. It's more than just goaltending. It's more than just the defense is bad. It's a long list. It's a litany of things. I mean, Zajak's not as good as he was last year. The only people who are living up to any kind of hype, Nikita Gusev has been amazing, but he started off slow. The only person living up to the hype all season is Blake Coleman. And not even Nico is living it up in the first 2 months. It's Coleman and Paul Murray. Paul Murray's been having a good season. But and I'm glad we are where we are with Nico Hischier, but he's hurt again, which is concerning. I'm glad we are where we are with Kyle Palmieri, but he's on the trade block, and I don't think it's a dead-on no anymore that you can't trade him because this team is in rough shape. We got Joey Anderson up. He's playing with the big league team, and he's having a really good season in Binghamton, but, his upside is third line forward. And you got Michael McLeod. I think his upside is second line forward. I think that's his upside. Nathan Bastian, he might be a Brian Boyle type, and that'll be good. Teams need that, but that's what you have in your prospect pool. The top line guys you have in the prospect pool right now are Boquist, who I don't know what you want to call him. I don't know if he's graduated from prospects or not, but it's Boquist, it's Smith. I mean, I don't even want to put Riley Walsh on there because Walsh is, I think his upside is limited. His upside is not first line defenseman. He's not even first line defenseman for Harvard this year. And I think that's some, semantics and maybe I'm looking too far into it, but it's not what it should be. It's not where it needs to be. And I think that, there's a lot that still needs to be done. I don't think this team needs one free agency to turn this around. I thought they did last year because they had a rating MVP on their team. This year, they don't have Taylor Hall. They don't have the star. They don't have the guy that you put on the tickets anymore. Now it's PK Subban. And Subban's not that guy anymore. He's not the same guy. And I think he could still be a really good player. He's never going to be $9 million worth. That's why you got him for the price that you got him for. You got him for Jeremy Davies, basically. Steve Santini's not even playing right now. So, yeah, that's it. Sam?
Got a problem.
Oh, boy.
We can't locate Dave Brown.
I mean, we can't locate him.
We called. Nobody picked up. And then the second time around, it said it was wrong number, but don't know if called the wrong number. So if you wouldn't mind resending his number, maybe I got the wrong number.
Okay, let me do
Sorry,
that.
Nick.
No,
Sorry,
you're fine.
Nick. See, we all screw up.
I'm a screw up.
I know we were hard on on those subsequent emails. That's the number I dialed.
Let me just double check.
Yeah, we may have been calling another celebrity and not even realizing it.
Yeah, right. Oh, he just sent me the correct number. He sent me the wrong number the first time. How about that? All right.
Oh, so it's Dave Brown's fault, huh?
It's Dave Brown's. Wait.
Hold
on.
Sending that to me.
Okay.
See, everybody sees our live show production right now. That's what's happening.
Yeah, Sam, I'm just a sad panda.
Yeah.
All right, you got it.
Well, I'm trying to cheer you up.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. All right, so why don't you keep on talking, buddy?
Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I mean, Subban I honest to goodness thought that Subban just had a back injury last year. I saw how hard he was working out. He's trying to build up those muscles, but I think that the counterintuitive thing of now making him not good anymore. I think he's just too big. I think he lost his best asset, which was his speed and agility. You know, the fact that he can outrun forwards, really fast forwards. Like, he's not Connor McDavid fast, obviously, or Miles Wood fast, but he's extremely quick. And that's the best way to describe it. He's quick. He's not fast, he's quick. Again, just quickly get into the places he needs to get to. And that's why he could do where he plays the puck with one hand, and then because he could skate around people and just be fine. But he's not doing that this year. It's because I think he's too big. I think he worked out too much. And that's just my opinion. I'm not a professional. I'm not, a nutritionist. I'm not a physical therapist and anything like that. I'm a hockey analyst and an amateur one at that. So I think that Subban will be fine if they change his workout regimen, but I don't know. I mean, this is a guy, he's about to marry an Olympic gold medalist. So I don't know how much you can, I don't know who he's getting his advice from. I don't know if he's letting the Devil staff talk to him or if he has his own people. Part of me thinks he has his own people. So, and Sammy Vatanen, I really like Sammy Vatanen, and it's going to really break my heart to see him go, but he's on a defense that's just terrible. So you might as well get a really good asset for him.
Nick.
Yeah.
All he had to do was give us his number. I think
we don't ask a lot.
I think, yeah, but I think as we get Dave Brown on the Bobby's Auto Care hotline, Dave, it was just a simple task. I'm going to take off 5 points of this game as you try to win my money. How you doing, Dave? Oh, now I screwed up. I forgot to pot up his audio feed. Dave, sorry about that.
No worries. How are you, boys?
I'm doing all right. We're a mess tonight, but you know what? Sometimes that's part of the charm.
Hey, let's have a little fun with the game. It's we could use a little fun now. It's been a tough go lately.
So, yeah. Dave, I'm not sure of your age, but do you remember the game Win Ben Stein's Money?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Love that game.
Okay. So tonight we're going to play Win Sam Woo's Money. Now, just like the regular game on Comedy Central, none of Sam Woo's actual money is on the line. But we are going to play the game in the same rules. We're going to actually just go straight to their bonus round. So how this is going to work is, Dave, you will go first. We will have rapid fire questions about Devils present and past. Every question's answer is a player name. It's simple, like, who's Sam Woo's got his money out. So Sam, this is very important. All right. For Dave's turn, you have to take off your headset.
Alrighty.
Because we're going to ask you the same 10 questions that we asked Dave. And whoever gets the most questions right, quote unquote, wins Sam Wu's money.
All right, so send me a text, and I will literally take my headset off and you go. But you got to let me know because I have no way of knowing. Okay?
All right. Dave, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
Okay. So we're going to put 1 minute on the clock. And go. Who has the most points for Devils defenseman this season?
Damon Severson.
Incorrect. Most points on the Binghamton Devils this season.
Joe Anderson.
Incorrect. Who has the most shorthanded goals in one season in Devils history?
John Madden.
That's correct. On the Henrique It's Over goal, he who shall not be named, who scored the game-winning goal against us yesterday, was the primary assist. Who had the secondary assist?
Bunakarovsky.
Correct. Of all of the Taylor Hall return, the players that came in return for Taylor Hall this year, who's the only player to appear in an NHL game?
Nick Merkley.
Correct. And this is the last question. The last Devils draft pick to score 150 total points in a season is?
Scott Gomez.
You went too far back. Wait, did I say in a season?
Travis
No.
Maybe repeat the question. Yeah.
I'll give you one more, just because that I think I messed up that question. Which one of Brodor's children did the Devils draft?
Anthony.
All right, correct. So let's count. Okay, so let's ask Sam back, and then let's tally up how many you got right. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3. All right, you got 4 right.
I'm back.
All right, so Sam, Dave Brown got 4 questions right.
Okay.
So, Dave, you don't have to go away because, we're asking the same questions, and you can kind of see if Sam gets past. Right. So, Sam, there's 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
By the way, I had to put my hands over my ears just to make sure that there's no cheating allegations when you guys go back to the videotape. There was no drumming, no whistling or anything like that. And
no garbage cans?
And all, no garbage cans. And also, I took a urine test before this game, and it all came out negative. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we got to worry about that Adderall. The Adderall in podcast games is just ruining the game.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Sam, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. 1 minute on the clock and go. Most points for Devils defenseman this season.
PK Subban?
Incorrect. Who scored the most points on the Binghamton Devils this season?
Oh, what the heck is that guy's name? Crap. Street?
No. Who had the most shorthanded goals in one season in history?
In the history of the Devils?
Yes.
John Madden?
Correct. Secondary assist on Henrique It's Over's goal. Kovalchuk had the first assist. Who had the second assist?
Ponomarovsky.
Correct. Of all the players who came in return for Taylor Hall, who's the only player to appear in an NHL game?
Don't know. Pass.
The last Devils draft pick to score 150 total points.
We're already done? Wow.
Yeah. But you can answer this question.
Last Devils drafted 150 points. Zach Parise?
Incorrect. Damon Severson passed it 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
So that means that Dave Brown, you won Sam Wu's money.
Woo!
We don't have to-
I'm talking.
There we go. I was like, where's the?
I'll take his big money. Most important thing is pride. So 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0 against Sam. So I'll take it to the
There you
bank.
go.
Well, this is my theme music right now. If I can play it. Wow, we're just having technical difficulties all night long.
Why is this your?
This is the money that's falling into Dave's pocket, sinking into Dave's pocket.
Yeah, I'll never let go, Jack. That's how all the Devils fans are right now. I'll never let go, Jack, and then they're just throwing him into the ocean because he makes one bad play. God, you guys are killing me.
Oh my goodness.
So just to go back to the ones that you guys didn't get correct, the most points for Devils defenseman this season is Sami Vatanen. The most points on the Binghamton Devils is Brett Seney. Yeah.
Right.
So there you go.
Oh, Dave, congratulations.
Help me on that one.
Dave, you got anything coming on the blog in the next couple weeks?
I'm usually a pretty positive writer, as you all know. But it's really hard to come up with any positive, in terms of where the season's been and everything. So you have to really dig deep to find something positive at this time of the year. My last piece was on the 2000 Stanley Cup champions, which was fun to write, and I'm sure a great time for all Devils fans. But looking to write about a player the Devils could acquire, maybe this season or possibly in the off season, and possibly a Palmieri trade piece. So look forward to that in the next couple days.
All right, sounds good. All right, we'll talk to you soon, Dave.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, boys. Take care.
Congratulations, Dave. That's Dave Brown, Pucks and Pitchforks contributor. Almost said editor-in-chief, but that's you, Nick. Yeah, I'll tell you what. He almost lost this game by forfeit because he gave us the wrong number, and he almost sacrificed his own win today, just like how Ryan Lambert sacrificed our hopes and dreams by giving us a reality check. But that's what we do here at the State of the Fan Address, because we're giving you an insight of the state of the fan, what we're thinking. But, a lot has been said in this podcast, episode 41, Nick. But one thing that just caught my attention when Dave said, it's digging in. I remember you telling me back in November, if the Devils continue to slide, it may be a long 6 to 8 months till in the off season, figuring out stuff to write, talk about. But yeah, well, I'll check my season ticket portal renewal, and I will sacrifice another year of Devils hockey. It would be my 20th year as a season ticket holder. Really should be my 25th year. I just, I just gave Ticketmaster all my cash because I actually went to pretty much almost every game when I was in college. But regardless, it's going to be interesting in the next few games and the next month where this team is heading on the draft board, and obviously we're going to be there and cover that for you, the New Jersey Devils fan. All right, Nick. So should we close out the podcast? You have any last words?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm still working out the logistics. We are going to do a trip in March, days off and things like that. I just got to get all that worked out. But we are going to do something live, the live iteration, and we hope to see you all there.
Yeah, well, I'm already planning the Florida trip, March 14th, March 15th. we got tickets at the Florida Panthers game, so we're going to have to work that in Tampa as well. So, but to you off air what our plans are. So all of our snowbirds that are down in Florida, talking about you, Winnie, will be down March 14th, 15th, and also possibilities of Nick Villano, you coming up to New Jersey. We'll talk about that because I'm bringing out. I may bring out the DJ once you arrive, the great state of New Jersey. All right, we want to thank all of our listeners, viewers, everybody on social media, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope. Sorry, something's wrong with Twitter and the live feed that it doesn't display right, but there is the link. It's not on our end, but hopefully that gets fixed soon. YouTube Live and Twitch. Thank you very much. This is the State of the Fan Address signing off. We will be back next Wednesday for another edition of the State of the Fan Address. And also, I will be down at PJ Ryan's this Saturday. So hope to see you there. Be live, pre-gaming at PJ Ryan's this Saturday. Across the street from the Prudential Center, 35 Edison Place. And remember, till next time, let's go Devils!